before we jump into this podcast, tour dates. Tour dates are coming. I'm going to read them to you. Super Coupe MX. Pumped. Super Coupe MX, Michigan. Going to be there June 22nd. I want to say that's this Saturday. There is like literally one spot left. By the time this podcast comes out, it'll either have happened or it's sold out. So sorry, folks. We'll be back. Love that place. June 27th, BP73 Moto Ranch. That's going to be Coach Mitchell in Minnesota. June 28th, Martin MX. That will be myself in Michigan. Can't wait for that one. June 30th, Oak Ridge MX, Iowa, Coach Mitchell. July 1st, 508 International in Massachusetts. That class has been selling quite a few spots lately. That will be me. July 18th, Mastering the Basics, featuring Coach Mitchell. That will be in Albany MX in Albany, Oregon. That is for either first-timers to the track, brand new riders, or people that just want like a complete, super basic reset on everything technique. They will hit the track, but it will be a lot of like drill work and flat section where, very cool concept, but that would be a Coach Mitchell class. July 19th, Albany MX. That would be a normal class with Coach Mitchell the day after Mastering the Basics. July 19th, I will be dividing and conquering. I'm going to be in DeChambeau with Tyler Medaglia, Quebec. Shout out Quebec. That's going to be a super awesome one. July 21st, Whispering Pines MX in British Columbia. That will be Coach Mitchell. July 26th, Promised Land MX, Maryland. I feel like he just did that, no? July 26th for that one, that would be Coach Mitchell. July 28th, I'm going to Winchester Speed Park in New Hampshire. July 28th, Coach Mitchell will also be at Sugar Maple MX in Wisconsin. I feel like I don't know half of these tracks, so this is cool. We're really getting everywhere. And then we got a couple in early August, and they just keep on going. We got Tootle MX featuring Coach Mitchell on August 2nd. August 2nd, I will also be Julia MX in Illinois. And check the website. Go to the tour or go to the motoacademy.com. We've got summer camps coming up. Tomahawk Summer Camp in July. Don't miss it. It's five days straight of riding, training, and leveling up as a human being. It's going to be completely epic. It's going to be probably the most fun thing we've ever done yet as the Moto Academy team. We're doing one in July, Tomahawk MX, and we're doing one in August, Sunset Ridge, Illinois. So, yeah, can't wait. Okay, without further ado, Allie and AJ episode, no idea, Moto Academy podcast. Welcome back, Moto Academy podcast, number one podcast in motocross.
It is made up.
And it's not made up. And we're back at it, another episode with Allie and AJ. Everybody loves these episodes. I don't know why. It's because they like me.
I would prefer to not. Oh my God. I'd prefer to not be forced to be on these, but here we are.
So we just did a trip to England. We're going to debrief our England trip because it was pretty epic. A lot of Moto Academy people there, which was cool. We had a couple of meals. We'll talk about it.
Only a couple. The rest of the time we starve ourselves.
I'm going to pull up. We've got one podcast question for you and I specifically that I wanted to answer. So I don't know. We'll toss that into the mix at some point. Don't spill that on that chair. I'll kill you.
I bought
That's what that's for, by the way. That is for your drinks.
Well, you know what's funny, though, is you put it way over there. Shouldn't it be here?
No.
Why?
It's lined up in the shot.
Mm.
Yeah.
So it's not for this.
Are we recording? Yeah. Okay. We're recording? Did I intro yet? What's going on? How do I do these? What is this?
So we just got back from... Oh. Were you starting over?
No.
Hey.
I was just going to say...
AJ here.
I was just going to say, gave away the straight rhythm bike. Congratulations, Brandon.
Camellia.
I don't want to... That's not it. I'm not going to say the last name because I don't want to botch it. Brandon C.
Yep.
Congrats, Brandon. This giveaway specifically, the way it worked is that you were automatically entered if you're inside of the Moto Academy app. Shout out to all of you guys that are in the app. And then for the time allotment that this giveaway and campaign was going on for, you could earn bonus entries by just spending money on the website. So tour dates, summer camps, apparel, any dollar spent on the website just added to your entry total. Brandon spent a lot of money. Now, you don't have to spend a lot of money to win, but it is cool to see he spent, I think, a good chunk of money in this campaign window. So congrats. We're going to sync up with Brandon, get the bike delivered. It's going to be super fun. That bike is...
Watching you is exhausting.
That
Your
bike
hands
is-
have moved so
That bike is
much.
epic, and it's going to stay in the Moto Academy family, and I'm just really overall very, very excited about it. You're on camera, you know.
I didn't know that people would know. All right. Anyways.
By the way, this episode is sponsored by...
Good, so give me the key back.
ASMR, Moto Academy. ASMR? What's ASMR? What is ASMR?
Why did you just say it with a Spanish accent? ASMR.
Wait, is that what the mouth noises thing?
Yeah, ASMR.
It
But you
is.
said ASMR.
What does that stand for? Audio sensory.
Motor
I'm literally making that up, but I'm probably right.
receivables.
What? Guys,
Get me out of here.
we're not on anything. By the way,
This
Zero.
is me. This
Zilch.
is me. Regular.
Just high in life.
Yeah, I am. You know why?
No,
I got to be in a pool today out in the sun.
that's probably why we're goofy, because we're just you look
silly.
tan. Do I look tan?
No.
My skin's been pretty nice lately. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Sure.
So gave away the straight rhythm bike. Shout out. We're going to plan. Jackson came up with it on the team
I hate
meeting, or
the
at some
idea.
point we're gonna have a bike giveaway going all the time now, just twice a year, 6-month campaigns, but always have a bike on the website, because there's so much traffic on the website. I think it's a great idea, and it always gives people a reason to spend money.
Shout
which is
out
great.
Jackson. Cool.
Yeah. So we'll always have a bike giveaway running from now on. The next thing we'll do inside the Moto Academy is a trip giveaway, and we'll announce that publicly in like 3 weeks. And that trip's going to be pretty darn cool. So yeah, okay.
Do I know where it is?
Hmm?
Do I know where it's?
It's going to be Sunset Ridge Summer Camp.
Oh, cool.
So the trip winner will get a chance to experience the summer camp.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet.
Pretty cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't feel like being here.
Yeah.
Who's listening?
I don't feel like looking at you anymore.
Give 5 shout outs and then we'll continue this podcast.
Shout out. Mine Moto. Shout out. Mark 24. It's not CR24, right? It's just Mark 24. Mark 24. Shout out Christian.
Just all the low hanging fruit.
All the low hanging jugs. Shout out local A class.
And shout out Camden High's dad.
Shout out. Also shout
Out
out.
Camden's dad.
Also shout
Big
out.
shout out.
Max.
Max, okay.
Shout out Ezra Tate.
Great. Good shout outs.
Should I keep? Oh, did I hit my limit?
Yeah, that
All
was
right.
your limit.
All right.
Okay. So we went to England.
We did. And okay, let's start off overall for what it was.
What do you rate it?
You, okay,
Rate the
overall
whole
for
trip.
what it was, considering we had a baby with us, considering it was a work trip, considering what is that?
Leveling it up.
Oh, okay.
Those things leveled it up.
Yeah. Well, they actually did. That's true.
The tone you were
I'm
using
gonna
it-
give it. I'm gonna give it a 9.4.
That's high.
Yeah. What do you give it?
This episode is sponsored by Element. I didn't finish before. I was trying to talk
AJ,
about it.
what is wrong with you? Are you malfunctioning?
drinklmnt.com/AJCat330. Guess what? They signed on for another how long? Indefinitely.
3 or 4 months.
Element
yeah,
is-
basically indefinite.
It sounded indefinite. Oh, come on, be a summer camp. Hit me with a summer camp. Not quite. But. By the way, how come this hasn't been making a cash register noise lately? What's
It just did, AJ.
happening? It did?
Yes, you just didn't hear it. All right, this is going off the rails.
Hydrate. We had a conversation with my dad today.
Yeah. How old is he? 67?
Unsure. I think he's 67. He cramps in Charlie horses like absolutely no one's business.
He's got a lot going on.
And
yeah.
he has headaches all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to start trying Element, which is cool. So I'm really, really curious to see how that... I think that's going to solve a lot of his problems. I think he's trying to hydrate right now, and he's just
well,
not.
and the things he listed, okay,
Either
not
just
to hate,
straight water, or what was he saying?
no,
Prime?
Prime, which if you look at the ingredients of Prime, it is not very good. Makes me very angry when people like that have a big platform create a product that people are obviously going to buy, and it's not good for you. Hate that. Also, he was talking about drinking Liquid IV. Liquid IV, I'm sorry, it's trash. It is trash. Element is amazing. And honestly, before AJ was sponsored, this is the reason why we sought them out to try and get them to sponsor the Moto Academy, was because we were drinking it religiously. I started on it, and you ended up liking it because salt is like the thing that you need to stop you from cramping, right? When you ride?
I'm a bad cramper.
You used to take salt pills by Rhino Power or something, right?
No. Well, Rhino Power makes salt pills, but I took salt pills, Metasalt is what it was called.
Never heard of it.
I want to say actually that the
Power.
Rhino Power, I think, was an exact replica of the Metasalt. If you looked at the back of the ingredients, they just copied the same thing. I mean, I'm talking the same exact thing.
Well, it means it probably works then. That's why
so
they copied
yeah,
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Element is amazing. Go to drinklmnt.com/AJCat330. They support the channel, so support them. But most importantly, just hydrate. When you use that code, I'm pretty sure that gives you guys 8 free flavors.
Gives you a sample pack so you could try all the flavors out. Yeah.
Which I think you'll like all of them. I like all of them. Play around with your mixes. Some flavors taste better.
Fully mixed up.
With strong mixes, some flavors are super powerful. Like raspberry, I find to be wicked powerful. Almost threw up. And I do a smaller mix with raspberry specifically.
Oh, raspberry, I go full on. It's my favorite.
Lemon,
It tastes
lime,
like a Jolly
I need
Rancher.
a bit more orange lately. I need a bit more.
Yeah.
Raspberry, I do a little less. I'm not usually one to care about the taste, though. I will mix more or less depending on if I just
need it or not. Gosh, it came so in handy, though, especially after flying.
How many did we use on our whole trip? So we went to England for 7 days total?
I packed
12?
I packed 30.
You packed 30?
We didn't go through all of them.
That would make sense because 12 wouldn't have been enough.
Yeah.
We packed a lot.
Well, there's 2 of us, of course.
And I was having 2 to 4 a day, which is pretty standard.
Yeah, but they recommend only 1 a day, I think. Which is interesting. You and I drink a lot. I drink 2 or 3 packets a day.
Mm-hmm.
But also, because I'm feeding Millie, I need more salt. But anyways, yeah, we love them. Also, side note, the best way to order through them, especially if you know you like them, is if you order 3 boxes, you get the 4th free, and then you also get the sample pack on top of that. So you get like
a double sample pack?
Yeah, you get like 38 servings for free, 38 days for free. If you do it that way, because your mom keeps ordering just 1 box and she's spending way more money doing that.
Oh, got it.
So if you know you like it, you're going to stick with it, do that. Anyways, okay, I rated the England trip 9.4.
That's high.
Hit me with it. Hit me with it.
With what?
Your rating.
Oh. Yeah, that's accurate.
No, you can't copy mine. Be original.
I'm going to give it a 9.39.
So you had a worse time than me.
Thought it was great.
Yeah, it was.
Go ahead. What did we do?
What?
What did we do?
I'm the guest.
Walk us through the trip.
So we drove to New York last Sunday.
Okay.
And that was definitely not a highlight of the trip.
Definitely not. Took 4 hours.
Yeah, it was miserable. Stayed at a hotel room where you couldn't see out the windows.
Horrible hotel.
Disgusting. Yeah. One of those ones where you want to stay fully
Shout
clothed.
out HR Hannah for that hotel.
Shout out Hampton and JFK, New York City.
Yeah, don't stay there.
Don't stay there.
It was fine, actually.
Not up to my standards, but...
It was in a disgusting area. But...
The hotel was also disgusting.
It's also New York City. So.
Yeah. And then we woke up. Our flight was at 8 a.m. on Monday morning. And it was a nonstop, which is great. But we got to the airport. We thought we weren't going to be able to go to England because my passport expires in September.
Yes. So
it caused this whole scene. And AJ was mad at me for a couple minutes.
If there are certain countries, thankfully the UK was not on that list, that if your passport is expiring in the next 3 months, or I think there was even some countries where if it's expiring in the next 6 months, those countries might not or will not let you in and won't let you travel there. So keep your eyes peeled on your passport expiration date and just do some double checking before you fly out, because we went to go check in at the kiosk, and it wouldn't let us. And then the guy just comes over and looks at the passport. He goes, "Oh yeah, you're not going to be able to."
Yeah, and how annoying
So
is that?
casually, just and then like walks away, and we were like,
Well, you kept saying, I was like, what do I do now? And he was like almost giving you attitude. So then we would go and we get in this line, and I'm like trying to think of what to do. AJ's like, well, we're not going to be able to go on the trip now. And I'm like, well, let's just stand in the line. Of course you can go. Millie and I will drive home from New York, whatever. We'll figure it out. And he goes, no, I'm not going to go without you. And we get up. The woman charged you for 3 bags. It was like $300. We got.
but there was no talk of not being able to go. So she checked us in as normal.
Totally fine. Yeah.
Minus charging me out the wazoo for bags.
$300 one way for 3 bags.
No, 105 or 115.
But you had already paid 100 or 150 at the kiosk, remember? And then she charged you again. Yeah. So we got to figure that out.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And
that was crazy.
It was super crazy,
And
but
then
that was like the least of our worries. So
on the way back, free. The bags were free.
yeah, she was just wrong and
How does
decided
that
to charge
work?
you.
Oh
Unbelievable.
yeah, I think it was $200. But that's still a lot to pay for
I
bags
think it
for
was
no
$250.
reason.
Yeah, stupid. So we get on the flight. I was super anxious about Millie. She literally could not have been more of an angel. She basically slept the whole way. It was a 7.5-hour flight. And when she was awake, she was like so peaceful. She'd play, she'd giggle, she'd look out the window. Landed at like 8 or 9 p.m. Didn't get to the hotel until like 11 p.m. that time. She went right to bed. Woke up the next morning at like 8 a.m. their time. It was like so easy.
Mm-hmm.
So Tuesday we got to explore. We drove out to Oakham. Is that what it was called? Was the town, which was like how far away from Moto 101? 30 minutes? Nothing crazy.
Yeah.
It was a super cute little town, like English countryside. If you go to like the bigger cities, like we stayed in Richmond the first night or London, wherever. Most people have never heard of Oakham. So cute. It had like a picturesque little cottage with, what were those, straw roofs? So cool.
Yeah.
The gardens were insane. Can you take it over? Because I don't really know which direction to talk.
That was like 3 hours
I know,
north
like-
of London, maybe.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it was 3 hours to explain
We
that.
stayed at a relay and chateau called Hambleton Hall, which was in Oakham.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Highly recommend.
Well, you say highly recommend, but I don't know if a lot of people like to travel like we do. AJ and I are like
well, we'll describe what it was
80-year-old
like, and
people.
you can decide. So
Yeah.
we traveled, as you'll see as we go through the story, eclectically. So
Yeah.
Hambleton Hall was a relay and chateau is basically like a Michelin-rated hotel. So it's boutique, it's small. I think there's 15 rooms total.
It's equivalent to like a 5-star hotel.
It's a 5-star
Not
hotel.
Michelin. Yeah.
Michelin. It's like a Michelin-rated
Yeah,
restaurant, but
sure.
in a hotel version. So there was only 15 rooms. It was like basically a castle,
So cool.
and everything is perfect, essentially. So our first experience ever of this was, shout out Tony, was at the Point Resort in New York. That was the first time we had experienced like proper,
Well, probably yours, not mine.
to the point where you're like, whoa, this is great. Anything you could think of or ask for, like it's basically there,
Yeah.
and they've already done it or they're doing it for you. Really, really cool. And for what it was, I don't think it was that much money per night. That's the cool thing about traveling to UK or Europe, is that you can kind of ball out sometimes, and the UK was expensive. Our dollar's worth less than theirs right now, so probably a bad time to travel. But that hotel
Was
wasn't.
awesome.
We ate there the first night, which was Michelin rated chef.
Really good.
And it was a chef tasting menu, so it was a 3-course meal, but they had 2 courses before it, so technically it was 5.
Millie's first Michelin rated meal.
Millie approved.
Yep.
It was awesome. Can't remember exactly what we had, but for sure some duck
Duck liver, right?
foie gras, which is
Foie
duck
gras,
liver, right?
yeah. I had a really good fish entree appetizer. Then I had lamb. You had duck again.
Duck again, maybe? Yeah, it was.
Dessert was
extremely.
Honestly, you know what my favorite
good.
thing about that hotel was, though?
What?
The coffee.
Oh yeah, we had some coffee and even the tea. I had Earl Grey
No, the coffee.
tea with cream
Milk.
with milk. I tried to replicate it again later in the trip at the Londoner. Didn't pay off. It wasn't the same.
Yeah.
Something about the coffee and the tea at that hotel was
Yeah.
insanely good. So we stayed there the first night. Then I had class at Moto 101. Super, super cool track. Very cool owner, like very into it. They have a good social media presence.
Don't you just love that?
Just like it seems, you never know how people operate their business. Seems like a smart, good business owner, like doing it right.
Mm-hmm.
When I say right, kind of doing it how Moto Academy is doing it, like putting the media first, content like crazy. When you pull in, it's cool, it's appealing looking. They had like big Fox set up and like a shop that you can go in and like get all your stuff.
Like an experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really cool. They had just changed the track layout, so I'll probably go do a deeper dive on like the riding experience in a different podcast, but very cool place. Sold out class, group was awesome. Stayed at Hamilton Hall again that night, but we were able to sync up for dinner with Mind Moto, who I've been waiting to meet forever,
Shout
it
out.
feels like.
Yep.
And his whole family. Literally his whole family, basically. So his wife, his 2 kids, and his parents were there, which was awesome.
Miles, Morgan, Sophie. I don't remember his parents' name,
And then
but they were so cool.
Christian was able to... Did they ferry across? They told me so many times and I kept forgetting. They either ferried across or took the tunnel across. Can't remember which one. I think.
Yeah.
Or did they fly across?
They drove.
They did?
Yeah.
Okay. And... Christian came with
surprised you at the class, right?
Well, I probably knew. I can't remember things sometimes, and I didn't know again until like the day before or the day of.
Okay.
So Christian and his wife also came to dinner with us. So we had an awesome group dinner.
Huge
at
table.
The Finch's Arms, something like that.
Finch's Arm, yeah.
Which was in Oakham, right basically across from our hotel.
Walking distance.
Which was, first of all, very convenient, but also extremely good restaurant. It wasn't Michelin rated, but it was like, it felt
honestly, it was better
on par with a Michelin rated restaurant.
No,
it didn't.
No, but it was great. It was honestly better because it was more relaxed and the waiter was super cool. The food was good. It wasn't outrageously priced, but it was so cool because we were sitting at like a big there was over 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 there was 10 of us at a table. It was like having a Sunday family dinner, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You're meeting all but one. We knew Christian, and we hadn't met anybody else until that day.
Yeah.
And
Didn't
it
feel
was
that way.
Not at all. Like, Mind Moto and his family couldn't have been more amazing. Oh. Just did a number 10. All right. He and I were messaging back and forth yesterday, and it's as much of an introvert as you and I can be, like I felt energized after being with them because it was just refreshing. And then fast forward, we had dinner a couple days later with another app member. He was a trip winner, but it ended up
a reverse trip winner.
Right, but it ended up where he came to.
We came to him. Yeah.
Yeah. And you just realize like the people that are kind of joining the app and sticking around, like good people.
Top notch.
Yeah.
Good people.
Yeah. So
yeah, that dinner was equally as awesome and comfortable.
Totally.
Yeah.
But we could talk about that in a minute. Yeah.
Yep.
So
we have that dinner.
We were just so
great
happy.
Great food, great company.
Yeah. Went back to the hotel.
Cool spot.
Super.
I mean, wicked
The views
cool
were
spot.
insane.
Yeah. Just amazing. Really, 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 really cool. Millie, up to this point, still perfect.
10 out of 10.
Millie's a 10 out of 10 up to this point.
Yeah.
That brings us to the next day, which now we're driving
Wednesdays
back from Hamilton Hall, which is way kind of up north in comparison to where everything else is for us. And then we're driving back down to...
No, this was Thursday.
Richmond.
Yeah. Back to
which
the
is
hotel
where we
stayed
decided
the first night.
Richmond became our home base for Flackwell Heath, which is in... Is it High Wycombe, maybe, is what it's called?
That sounds familiar.
Kind of northwest a little bit of London. Richmond is just west of London, so it's kind of a rich suburb of London. But we booked there at a place called the Petersham, and also not that expensive, but really, really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And probably more importantly, just an awesome location where you could walk right from that to parks and restaurants and shopping. Mm-hmm. And Richmond is just like a really, really cool spot. So we got lucky with booking there, and we had only booked the first night originally, and then we booked 2 more nights there and made that our
so when we first flew in to London, that's where we stayed the first night before we headed to Oakham.
Yes, because noting or side note, this can actually maybe be useful for anybody that wants to travel to London. Heathrow is not anywhere near London, so it's an hour drive basically. Well, it took us 45 maybe
40
the morning of our flight back home.
But I think that's because of the day and time we were driving.
But it's pretty far. So when I saw that we were landing late on the way there, I was like, well, let's definitely put us in somewhere that's not in London. I don't want to be fighting trying to get into the city when we're exhausted after a long flight. So I booked in Richmond because it looked like a halfway point, and
it was perfect.
thankfully I did, because
That was a really cool
we
spot.
found an awesome spot. Probably be a spot that we'll go back to, I'm
Yeah.
sure. And it was funny because we were having a meal when we first got there, and I was asking the waitress, I'm like, this seems like a cool kind of poppin' area. Like, is this where, is it? And she goes, oh yeah. She just started naming people. She goes, Zendaya.
I don't know who that is.
Tom
Is that a
Holland.
singer, I think?
Like she was naming a bunch of famous UK celebrities, I think, that live in that town.
I didn't really know any of the names. I thought I did, but I wasn't sure.
And
It was just cool because you could literally walk from the hotel. It was a little bit of, it was hilly too. Holy crap. With Millie on me, I thought I was going to die some of the days. But
right
you
on
could
the
walk,
river?
Yeah, right on the river. You could walk to so many cool restaurants and shopping. And there was a beautiful park that we hung out in one day. It was awesome. So we got there Wednesday night or Thursday night. Must have been Thursday night. And you had class on Friday.
So anyways, on the drive back, I thought it would be cool to stop in Oxford because we were recommended to do so. Turns out it was way out of our way. So we drove 2 hours to Oxford from Hamilton Hall.
Oxford seemed like such a cool spot.
Literally just enough for us to get sushi at a random spot and then to just like kind of drive quickly through the town, which looked very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
And then we got ourselves stuck in some crazy traffic.
Well,
and
AJ's not a very good planner, and he doesn't really check things out when he plans.
So basically, we went there just to get ourselves stuck and turn the drive that should have been 2 hours into a 4-hour drive.
Yeah, maybe more.
Also, we're driving the other side of the road. Also, I'm driving a stick shift with the wrong hand. So
that I would never try and drive there personally.
How many times did I stall the whole trip?
What was it? What did you keep saying?
Can't find them, grind them.
And there was another one.
Yeah.
I trust AJ with my entire life and my daughters.
Killing the driving.
Anything on wheels, I'm like, I trust you. But that?
I was
and you kept being like, what side of the road am I supposed to drive on? Or where am I supposed to go here? And I'm sitting in the back like, you don't know when you're driving us?
Yeah, no idea. But I was really playing it off as if I did. And my strategy was, what I learned in driving in Europe is you have to be a little, not like New York City aggression, but slightly more aggressive. Cars are close to each other. They pull right up, be kind of close. Like they stay tight.
Yeah, I don't know why you were doing that though, because you didn't need to. Just because they drive that way doesn't mean you need to.
It just felt natural in the stick shift for some reason and in that environment. And then as soon as I got back here, I realized how far back I do drive from people.
Yeah, because I was pointing that out to you. I'm like, why are you riding everyone's
But there
rear?
it felt normal for some reason. And it just, So anytime like I was in a situation where I'm like, I don't know if this is a roundabout or what this thing is, but I would just kind of go. And it worked. But how many times did I stall? Would you guess?
Oh, 50?
What?
I mean,
I stalled 3 times.
Oh, I was thinking about can't find them, grind them.
I ground them a lot.
I remember 3 or 4.
3 to 4
5.
good stalls in not great situations.
Correct. Either. Almost got smacked by a bus one of the times.
Yeah. When I'd stall, I'd really make it count. And also, it was one of those that has the A with the circle around it, meaning like when you put it in neutral first, or like if you're just idling, it will shut off.
Yeah, so we
so one of those where like stuck. I thought I stalled, but I wasn't sure. So now I'm trying to start it. I'm like, is it running or not? And like there's vehicles coming at me. Yeah. So a couple of pretty major stalls. I was doing a lot of shifting from first to third, or from second to fourth, just to skip a gear. And but even when I was going from just straight from second to third like normal, something about that third gear, I couldn't find it. And so many times going into third gear in that car. That poor Nissan.
I've never even heard of it.
Nissan something with a Q.
We don't have that in the States.
Wasn't a great vehicle. It was like a Nissan Rogue, maybe. Small SUV. Way too small for what we needed it for. Most boring podcast of all time. So
Oh
go
my
to
God, I'm like-
Oxford, get stuck in traffic, leave, get
Also,
back.
when we
go-
were in Oxford, had the best sushi I've maybe ever
pretty good
had.
sushi.
Really good. It
Yeah,
was at a
I was-
mall. But the malls there are like insane, or a lot of the ones we saw, and they had like the best restaurants on the rooftop. Like all those restaurants had like 5-star ratings, and we went to that. They gave
What
us
was
like
it
this
called? Do you
warm
remember?
towel with
Yeah, that
like
was nice.
lavender on it to clean our hands, and it was super nice.
What was it called? Sticks and Sushi?
Kung Fu Sushi. I have no idea. Sticks and Sushi actually sounds familiar. It was. Wow, good memory, and I'm the one that booked it. You were on the phone the whole time. Yeah, really good. So then we got back to Richmond after sitting in the car for freaking 2.5 hours, and we went to that French place. That was really good.
Oh, yeah. What was that called?
Something Lindsay.
Ches?
Lindsay. Yeah, that was pretty good.
I recommend that.
Yeah,
That was
cool
good.
experience. We love
Inexpensive.
French food too.
Yeah.
It's like our favorite cuisine.
Next day, class at Flackwell. Awesome day. Absolutely downpoured at one point, but
Which, side note, I think people were maybe a little bit bummed at how much it rained, just based off of reading like comments and then also talking to Mark 24. But I remember Hannah specifically reaching out to the track owner, and the track owner said, no, it'll be totally fine. And that's why we proceeded.
well,
Although you
right.
would have anyways, but they like assured us it was going to be okay.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was okay.
Yeah.
I think the track wasn't prepped. They were probably anticipating a lot of rain, so they sealed the track, meaning they dozered it flat. And it was like an ice skating rink in the morning for the free ride. But by the time we got to our section, it was sweet. It was getting tacky. The rut was super good. We got really great work in until 2. Monsooned at 2, so we really only had an hour and a half left anyways. And then what I did is I just got got creative with it and got everybody grouped around, and we just did a jumping theory talk where I just kind of taught the lesson, fielded a bunch of questions where people were asking questions like crazy, which was super cool. So it was like almost a classroom environment. And then they free rode at the end of it for a while. So I stayed an extra hour probably.
Yeah,
and
it felt like you got back pretty late.
It ended up being awesome. So that was cool.
Cool.
Rest of the trip, what did we do?
So we went out to dinner that night with Mark 24 and his family.
Yep, a place called what? Because we ended up going again, didn't we? To a different one?
To one in London. Yeah,
Gaucho?
Gaucho. How are you remembering all this? Yeah, Gaucho. It's like a steakhouse there, and I think they have them kind of all around.
Sort of was the vibe of like a...
Morton's.
Yes, but cooler, obviously. But it felt like a high-end steak chain.
And it wasn't
Very
super
good.
expensive, I don't think.
Kinda.
Oh.
I mean, you also have to remember the menu prices we're seeing. So like $50 for a steak
It was
is
maybe
like
70.
65 or
Oh.
70. I mean, it's
Yeah.
definitely like the higher end of
Oh,
steaks.
okay, yeah.
Very good.
Very good.
So we end up having Gaucho with Mark and his wife and daughter, and
Yep.
Allie and Millie.
Yep.
Awesome meal. We walked there from the Petersham Hotel. Amazing.
Gosh, they were so cool too. His
Super
daughter
cool.
Olivia was awesome.
The coolest, like the best accent.
Yeah.
Like
She was 14, right?
14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Liv's
smart and-
accent is
yeah.
exactly how I would want Millie to talk.
I know.
It's too
Bummer.
bad she's gonna have a boring American accent. So proper.
Yeah.
Posh is how she said that people would describe her accent.
Posh?
Yeah. She was like, people in school tell me I kind of have like my accent is like posh.
What does that mean? Like
Don't
the
know.
Spice Girls?
It's a cool adjective, kind of like cool.
You know what?
Swanky.
Mine Moto keeps using the term lush. I like that. Posh and lush.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. That dinner was amazing. They're such a cool family. And I think he pointed out some tracks that are... They lived west of where we were, right?
Southwest.
Okay. So, and he lives by the water. So that'd be cool if we can get one of those tracks on the...
So we're going to start making the UK probably a twice a year, a spring and fall. They sell well enough.
I know,
So
but
why not?
maybe Mitchell goes to the other one.
Okay. Anyways, the next day then we go to London, and we got a hotel called the Londoner, which is right. This was a good hotel choice too. It was smack
Expensive
dab.
though. This one was.
This one was expensive. I think the Londoner. Yeah, I used all of my Amex points, which I've been doing a lot lately. But I think it was like $600 or $700 a night,
Ugh.
and I used 100,000 Amex points.
What would you give that hotel? Obviously, location was like very good, but in terms of overall, what would you give the hotel?
Minus the food, it was awesome.
Minus the food and waking up to cigarette smell in our room.
Was there actually?
Yes.
You weren't just making that
No.
up?
Yes, there was.
Yeah, I guess there was. I thought still great. Bed was comfortable. Pillows awesome.
Cool room, cool view.
Everything else was cool.
Yeah, that's
Everything
true.
else was really cool.
That's true.
Location amazing.
I wish we were there longer to experience
People with
it.
the top hat and the pea coat
That would open the door.
open the door every single time we'd go in. Pretty cool.
I liked how the breakfast
So highly
spot
recommend.
had a coconut water jug,
For people that
green juice.
are going to London and want to stay in London, I don't know how you
And
can
let's
say
not skip the coolest part. We didn't realize that it was, what was it? Coloring of the troops? Is that what it's called? Or am I getting it backwards? Trooping of the colors?
color.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus. And we had no idea. So they were flying like World War II planes and jets over us. It was like the coolest thing. Saw the king.
Saw the king.
Saw the king.
Yep.
Saw the horsies. And all of the...
It was cool.
Yeah, it was
Really cool. So we've
It's
spent
like
the
once
last
in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah, spent the last day exploring London. So we stayed in Soho, walked all the good shopping in Soho, and what's cool about that area is you're 15-20 minute walk to Buckingham Palace and that stuff. So
Yeah,
we
it's just
explored it
all so
all.
cool. You know what I
Beautiful.
realized though? You know what I really realized that day? I like to shop, I guess, but I don't really like it because I don't really want clothes.
No.
Being in a city is really, really cool.
You always talk about like wanting to be near all these shops. I'm like, for what exactly? I guess it's still fun to do as an
Peruse,
activity.
it's like an activity.
But we don't buy anything ever.
Yeah, like if you had put me on that trip 2 or 3 years ago, I would have been buying up clothes in Zara. I would have been all over the place.
We didn't buy a single thing, right?
Millie got a sweatshirt that said London on it, and that was it.
Oh yeah, from
Yeah, I would much rather...
like a hole in the wall.
Super cool.
Basically like a...
She won't fit in it for like probably another 6 months, but super cute. But yeah, I'd rather spend my money on food
Yeah, definitely.
and where we stay.
Definitely. The only thing I've spent money on lately was my backpack, which was an amazing purchase.
I mean, it was definitely not a necessary
It was an awesome purchase.
We could argue.
But that's
about
it. And I just remembered that on the live stream, I'd need to buy AirPods.
Okay. All right.
Because, yeah. I don't want to be here right now.
Yeah, me either.
35 minutes.
Crap. How many more do we have to go?
How
20?
many minutes do we have to go?
25 more minutes?
Wow.
So anyways.
And then that brings us to the flight back. Which
lots to unpack there.
The flight back was it in the morning?
11:55.
A.M.?
So it was a noon flight. Got us back at 3 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah. Perfect flight times, by the way.
They do that on purpose.
On the way there, the 8 a.m. takeoff landing at 8 p.m. was great because you're exhausted. You sleep
From
a full night.
flying.
You wake up the next morning. You feel like you're in the time zone. Coming back,
A
leaving
little
at
bit of a struggle, though.
leaving at noon, landing at 3 in the afternoon here, and then just trying to survive until bedtime.
Yeah, because don't forget, after the flight, we had to drive 3 hours back from New York City. Yeah, that was a lot.
So flight back, Millie had enough.
She put on a production.
She wasn't unhappy.
She cried and whined a couple times, but it wasn't like a screaming baby.
You're right. She was overall happy,
And
but
very
it was
very active.
high energy. So it was.
I'm AJ's a middle seat and I'm a window seat, and so I'm like this trying to hold her, and she's bouncing off the walls. And on the other side of AJ was this man who, in the beginning, we were like, "What a wonderful man." He was English. He was very inquisitive about us. Was positive. There was like a lot of questions and answers, and it was just great. And I started to notice over the period of an 8-hour flight, and you had no idea, he must have had, I'm not joking, 16 shots. He was getting the 2 little nips for every drink, and he must have had 8 drinks.
It's amazing that they allow that to happen.
And so at one point, I'm looking over at him, and he's still acting pretty normal, and he's like halfway in at this point, probably 8 shots in. And I said to AJ, I'm like, wow, he's drinking a lot. Have you noticed this? And AJ's like, oh, no. And but he was super good to Millie. He would like help us when she was like getting fussy, like give her his finger, which is questionable, but it was making her stop being fussy, so it was cool. And then it just went downhill from there. What was like the first thing where we were like, whoa, maybe he got up to go to the bathroom and like fell on somebody, and I'm like, oh, here we go.
What was real interesting about the situation is you couldn't. At first, I couldn't tell.
He was holding on well. Yeah, but that's because
his conversation was still totally normal.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have even guessed. And then he got up. And when he went to get the first of like
oh wow, he
15 bathroom stops. I mean,
he was flowing.
He went to the bathroom so many times once it started to happen. Mm-hmm. And when he got up the first time, it must have all hit him at once because I was
fell
like,
into the girl on the
on
the other side.
Every time he maneuvered around, each time he got up, he was falling into somebody else. Mm-hmm. And Allie and I were just like, whoa. And then on top of that, he still wanted to talk to AJ. Yeah. AJ put his headphones on. He was reading. He was watching the race. Anything he could do to like show this guy, like, I'm not interested in talking. And then he would distract you somehow, asking a question. Holy crap, I need to put this away. Because he was super interested in,
which is so nice when he was sober.
Yeah,
right. And then I started to smell the alcohol from his breath, and I was
somehow the whole time never smelled it.
I smelled it. You were closer to him.
Yeah. But then in conversation, I was starting to realize like, okay, he's drunk. Still
slurring his words,
but still having pretty good normal conversation for the most part, other than not having the social awareness of like
stop talking.
I kept putting my headphones on, and yeah, that just continued the whole time.
And it got really bad. At one point, he fell asleep, and I wanted to like do this to him because he was like this, and he was snoring so loud.
He was?
His head was literally at his crotch. It was at his crotch. And the woman behind us got back from the bathroom, and she was laughing to her son. She was like, oh my gosh, that man's folded in half.
Really?
Yeah. And then it started to get weird. Like AJ would hold up a blanket when I was nursing Millie, and he would start like looking around, or like we would clearly be trying to help her change her diaper and putting up a barricade, and he was like looking around. We just had there was no privacy. To end the flight, he gets up and everyone's like kind of standing waiting to get off the plane. He could have completely waited. He
wasn't in a rush though. You could tell he was trying so hard to like
be careful
to not be noticed by other people and to like do it carefully.
Yeah.
And it was backfiring so bad.
Yeah. And so he pulls out his suitcase, and people are very close in front of him. So I don't know if his depth perception was just like super off. Takes the suitcase out, and there's a man underneath him, and it just falls on the man. A whole suitcase just falls on him.
Big suitcase too.
Yeah, it was definitely not carry-on size. And that guy got so mad, and I think it's probably because he knew how drunk he was.
He goes, I'm so sorry, and the guy goes,
F, are you?
He said what?
He said the F word. He
did?
He said, F, are you?
Oh.
And then he kept saying, I'm so sorry. He was like really nice.
Yeah.
But just drinks too much. And he said that he travels a lot for work to New York City, right? Like you could just tell he was such a nice man, but he definitely had some problems. And I had this thought as we were like towards the end of the flight. Like just imagine if you videotaped him. And then when he was sober, he looked back at that. Wouldn't you feel sad looking at that version of yourself?
Or his like wife or family.
And his kids that he was talking about. Also, if I knew you were traveling places and you were getting that drunk and like.
That's what I do.
Yeah, just 16 shots on a flight. That would make me, I just feel really sad about that.
Yeah, and he had a meeting when he was landing.
No, the next day.
I think he had something going on that night.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, before we got off the plane, did you notice how he was taking puffs of a vape pen of some sort?
No.
Yeah. So I think maybe that's his way of like getting really drunk, and maybe he's got nicotine or something in there.
To do what?
I don't know. Maybe the nicotine can kind of like perk you back up if he was getting a little too sloshed.
He was really he really slept it off.
Oh man.
Yeah. It just made me sad, and also like I think I don't know. Drinking is just so not.
Well, and because at one point too, he was talking about how he doesn't really like the job anymore, and how he doesn't like the traveling anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you could tell he was kind of
He's just sad. Yeah. That just made me think about.
Yeah, when we ended the flight, I go, all right, well, when you get home, or when you get something about, I said, what did I say? Quit your job.
Yeah.
Let them know you're quitting.
And what did we say? Just be a beach bum. And then he
Yeah.
told Millie that was really bad advice.
Yeah, but the way he said it was funny.
Yeah.
He like said bye to Millie and he goes, that is absolutely horrible advice. When really it's actually the best advice ever.
To quit your miserable job.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was thinking when we were talking about him dropping the suitcase on the other guy, I am probably somebody that's easily bothered. Maybe I'm working on it. It's better than it used to be. But one of my biggest pet peeves is people in an airport setting that are in a rush. Like people that will if they're behind you on the plane and they think that they have the right to push past you or get off before you so that they don't let you grab your stuff and get off before them. Do you know what I'm saying?
Did that happen again?
Well, someone behind us did do that.
Oh, yeah.
And then you stood there and said, Allie, come on, so that Millie and I could get out. Because people were like rushing. It's like, really? Like you can't just wait a minute longer?
Also, we're wicked efficient at getting up and off the plane.
With a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that whole trip really well.
Yeah.
Also, a couple things I learned about, it's way easier to have a baby traveling than being at home. I don't know if people listening that have kids will agree with that, but there's something about like being on the move with a child. That one day that you were teaching at Fleckwell Heath, we walked 8 miles.
Millie did?
I carried her the whole way. I did not use a stroller, and my back was toast for a couple days. We walked 8 miles. She was so happy. She got to see so much. Like when we have her at home, it's so difficult. Cooped up in a house because you watch her for maybe 40 minutes. Okay, by yourself, if that.
That's not true. So you're talking when you're home when I'm away?
Yeah, or just like trying to keep her entertained in the house. It's more work. When you're on the go and she just has a lot of stimulation and stuff, like it just was easier. But yeah.
But overall, it was easy. I think maybe people think it would be impossible
the last day
to travel
was hard
with the
for me.
7-month-old. Overall, I think it was totally fine.
Yeah. It gave me the confidence to do it a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't imagine one parent trying to do it by themselves.
I could have done that without you.
Especially with 2 kids.
Like the woman in front of us on the way there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And her husband, remember her husband was in first class?
Yeah.
And she was sitting in coach. Is that what it's called? Coach?
So on the flight there's a woman like a couple seats in front of us with 2 kids that are
cutest little Asian kids ever. We're so adorable. One was probably like 1 and the other one was probably like 4.
And just Allie and I go, wow, she's got her hands full. Like just doing this all by herself.
I felt so bad for her. Like I wanted to offer help because the 1-year-old was giving her such a hard time.
And then deep into the flight,
she walks into first class
and then comes back with the father.
And remember, as I saw her walking to first class, I'm like,
her
no
husband,
way.
the father.
No way. The father.
The Faja was just up there chilling by himself in first class which, by the way, is a bed.
Yeah.
And Allie and I were just like, what?
Holy crap. How awful. And that flight, there were so many seats open. I mean, I'm sure he paid for that or he got upgrade, whatever. But like that baby was screaming. That poor mom had to take 2 kids to the bathroom like 4 times that flight. And do all that by herself. And he's just chilling in a pod. Are you kidding? I couldn't believe that poor thing.
So that was the England trip. We rated it a 9.4.
9.35, 9.4.
Out of 10.
Yeah. Next
awesome.
up.
So shout out England. Thank you.
Shout out England.
By the way, I would
2.4.
assume that after that trip, quite a few new Moto Academy members from England. So shout out to you guys. Millie's crying upstairs.
Shout out. My brain doesn't work when I hear my baby crying. It was amazing.
It was a super fun trip. I love that place.
Yeah, we like England a lot.
And I will
it's so funny because I feel like a lot of people, no offense to people that live there, a lot of people don't like England.
People hate on England.
Yeah, they really do. They say the food sucks and it's gray all the time.
England hates on themselves, though. Every time you talk to somebody from England, they just say how it's horrible because the weather sucks the whole time.
I think it's one of those things where you think it's one way.
I tell you what, it was a roller coaster ride of weather. Yeah. In one day, like it would go from completely warm and sunny to
completely freezing,
cold, and then sunny again, and then
Yeah.
downpour out of nowhere.
It's one of those places where you just don't know really
And
how to
then
dress.
cold, and it was like, what the?
Yeah.
I made a joke. The first day I was at Moto 101, I was putting on and taking off layers the whole day. Like I didn't know what to do. I had Under Armour zip up and then a rain kind of jacket on top of that, and I was just constantly dressing and undressing myself. We've got one question, and we can end it with this question.
Oh, okay. There's a couple of questions that I saw in the queue that could have been for both of us.
Oh, was there?
I
This
thought.
was the only
We'll
one I
just do this
found
one
for
for
sure
now.
that is for both of us.
Okay.
And I just figured we could field it and end it with this. This is Mind Moto question.
Oh, okay.
Shout out Mind Moto.
Shout out.
By the way, if you guys are if you're not in the app yet,
What
go
are you doing?
download Moto Academy 2.0. The new app is amazing, and it just keeps getting better.
The
because
people are the best part of it.
the people are the best part of it, but the user interface is freaking awesome, and
Yeah.
it keeps leveling up. Like when I came back from England and dove right back into the app, the chat had completely updated and changed.
I noticed when you're on a live stream today, I noticed
Yeah.
the way that it appears at the bottom of the app has changed in a better way. That was pretty cool.
The app is so darn capable. It blows me
It's
away.
just nice that it keeps
continues to blow
upgrading.
me away. I'm so happy we made the decision.
And if you're in the old app, for gosh darn sakes, AJ's not getting paid on that app, so get out of it.
Yeah, there's still over 800 people in the old app, and the developers haven't
shiesty.
paid me
Since November,
since November.
I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah, they're not good people.
A lot of money. They owe well into this. They owe 6 figures to us. So please unsubscribe. Don't give in any more money.
Report 'em.
Hopefully the right thing happens, and whether we have to go to court or something for it to get it back. But the contract, you would think, protects us, and it's
Shout
pretty
out.
obvious. Is like we should get the money.
Shout out Subify for screwing people.
So yeah, we unsubscribe if you're subscribed to that. But I'm
get in the new
still
one.
very hopeful that we'll get that money.
And get in the new one, because the new one is awesome.
Mind Moto question. I've been with my wife for 20 years, and I'm still a work in progress. How do you guys handle misunderstandings in your marriage? Who is first to apologize?
20 years. Wow. So we've been together for 10. It was 10 in June.
Wow, so they've been together.
Double us.
He said he's 38, so since he was 18.
That's like us.
Wow. Yep, but we're 10. We're halfway there. How do you guys handle misunderstandings, and who's the first to apologize? Okay. Take it away.
I'd like to hear yours first.
How do we handle misunderstandings? I'm trying to think of a specific example first. I feel like I don't know.
Do, 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 do.
How do we handle? I don't.
I
actually
want
know
you
how
to answer.
that.
Sweet baby Jesus.
We fight. We put on boxing gloves
And
And
knock
get in
each
the
other
ring.
the heck out.
and we throw fists.
Yeah.
We throw hands. What do we do?
Well, I think the reason why he's
We
struggling.
don't really have misunderstandings. I don't think we are pretty darn in
There's
sync.
like 2 topics that are hot topics with us, right?
Okay, what are they?
Yours with me is my inability to think big picture, whether it's with finances or certain things.
Oh, but that's barely a conversation because
Okay,
you don't
hold
give me
on.
that much
Hold
crap.
on. I don't what?
I
That's
only
what you
have
give
that-
me crap for.
Right.
Okay. So the second thing that we argue about is something that I get upset with you about, which is your lack of emotion or romance or those types of things. My opinion on AJ is that he is too, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like you're too, not
Monotone?
realistic. No, not realistic. What's the word I'm looking for? Come on.
Unrealistic?
No, you're too like, come on.
Completely perfect? Let's see.
Realist. You're too much of a like. What's the word I'm looking for? You use it all the time.
Magical. A genius?
No,
Uh,
freaking loser. You're too much of a like. You're too logical. That's the word I
Great.
was looking for.
Great.
Gosh.
Okay.
You're too logical to like a fault.
Okay.
In a lot of ways it works for you. But with my problem with that is that it takes away from like the romanticism of a relationship a little bit, where like you're like, you don't need me to tell you that you're pretty, or you don't need me to tell you I love you. Of course I love you. Like those types of things. So that's where I get frustrated with AJ's, because he's not like that. You show me in certain ways, but they're just not typical ways, I guess. I don't know. It's the ways that sometimes it's hard to feel loved. So I will point that out to AJ, but AJ isn't somebody that gets like very worked up about anything. And I'm not somebody that like screams or raises my voice, right?
No.
So when we bring things up to each other, it's usually just like, okay, this is really bothering me about you. Could you do X, Y, and Z? You never really do it. So I'll bring it up a couple months later.
She wants words of affirmation constantly, 100% of the time.
When he says constantly,
I also think
when he says constantly, I just want it maybe one. Like when you say constantly, I maybe ask you every now and again because I just don't get it. So that's the constant.
Yeah, it's because I want to try to do it. Maybe eventually I'll get around to it, but it's the one thing out of all of the things that I think is this. It's a silly one. Well, it's kind of like acts of service.
Guys,
also.
pop up in the comments. Any of the
It's
guys.
just I guess it's because I don't need any of it.
Yeah, but it's not about you.
I know, but it's just obviously that's the perspective that I live.
And the things that you need. Let's say you give me a list of AJ's needs.
0. Don't need anything. Oh,
that is not true though.
No, the list of things that I need, I could easily, hire a cleaner. What? What?
He's gonna find a lady of the night.
I could find a lady.
Saw a lot of those in London.
I could.
I could find a lady of the night. I'll find a cleaner. I'll find a chef.
Yeah, I would hire all of those people. So those are.
But you wouldn't do that because you have a wife.
Right.
Are you saying that I'm disposable?
No, I'm just saying that those are the things that like
my Moto, you're gonna see it in real time.
I need.
Okay.
And that you offer me, which is great.
Okay, that's why you married me, correct?
But I don't need no. That's a great bonus. I would hire out otherwise. I don't think I need anything else. No, the one thing I like is quality time. So that is my love language is quality time.
Okay.
Without a doubt, bar none, way up at the top, nothing even close. I don't have any other. Like that is it, quality time.
Okay, so out of the 5, what is it? Physical touch, acts of service.
Physical touch, I guess, is another one.
Physical touch. Why'd you say it like that? Physical touch. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're gonna hire out for that too?
Yeah, lady of the night.
Why were we saying all that? Oh gosh.
Because your big one is words of affirmation.
Yeah, like I think you show me you love me by like providing.
Which is my worst one at giving.
Absolutely.
By far.
With everybody in your life, not just me.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I'll get there.
When? Can you give me a timeline? Am I going to be dead? That is my biggest thing with you though. Is I've heard I'm beautiful once and it was in his wedding vows. Yep.
That's not true.
Yeah, that is AJ, I swear on my daughter upstairs that's
not
true.
True though.
Maybe you said it to me when we first started dating 10 years ago as like a way to rope me in. But so.
What's your favorite word? Can you write me a list of words?
What?
Can you write me a list of words that you want me to call you?
This is the logical. That makes it so not romantic. That is so forced. It can't be like that.
Nice legs.
They have cellulite on them from having your child. So I think that when we have arguments, we're both really not arguers. We let things go really easily. And normally AJ turns everything into a joke. If you ask his mom when he was little and she would yell at him when he got in trouble, he would make her laugh so she couldn't be mad at him. It's actually kind of toxic. But he has an annoying way of making you laugh if you're mad. But I would say for the most part, most of us are pretty logical. Both of us are pretty logical with our thinking. Are you copying me? I can't do that now. I would say that both of us are pretty logical, but when we do have frustrations, we're able to like talk it out pretty easily. Right? Is that what that question
Very
is?
easily. And also right there and then.
And I think that
which
that's
is important.
taken a long time.
I think a lot of people, and I have seen this in the past with employees of mine, obviously where resentment builds because they're afraid to say something. They wait. It builds. I think that's the most toxic trait in a relationship, or that somebody can do in a relationship, is wait.
Well, I think there's a lot of reasons why somebody would do that, relationship or business or personal or whatever. It's just because there's a lot of different factors.
We
honestly.
talk about things right away.
Yeah, but I think that there were times when resentment would build between us for you not doing what I'm like telling you I want or need or those types
maybe
of things.
years ago, sure.
Yeah, so I think we're at a place now where we're able to like really sit down and talk about things. What is happening?
What? I'm listening.
Why are your Jesus sandals on?
These are my podcast shoes.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody's noticed, but I wear these always on the podcast.
No, you just wear those always now.
That's not true.
Man, I can't think of anything when she's crying. Can you read me that question again one more time?
How do you guys handle misunderstandings in your marriage? Who is first to apologize?
Okay, who's first to apologize? You don't apologize.
You don't. You also don't apologize.
Yeah.
There's nothing. There's never. I don't think there's anything ever for people to apologize for.
Being mean to each other is something to apologize.
But we're not mean to each other.
But you used to be mean.
Years and years ago. We're not mean to each other now, ever.
Did you apologize then?
I can't remember.
Your mom's showing her upstairs.
Is what?
She keeps going shh because she knows it's probably freaking me out.
Well, we're at an hour.
You just
we didn't
really half-assed that. Excuse my language.
Well,
I don't like
it's
to swear.
because I can't think of anything. Great question, but I can't really think of anything.
I would say AJ and I still have a lot of work to do in terms of our relationship, but the biggest piece of advice that I have is to, when something happens in an argument, look at how you handle it and take ownership in the part that you have. Like a lot of the things that we project onto other people is just a reflection of ourselves. And so like when I would find that I was getting angry at you for something, like there was something that I could control in that. Do you know what I mean? So work on yourself, and it really helps with your relationship. When AJ and I first met, we were both probably train wrecks. I mean, we were very young, and I was insecure, and you were a professional athlete, and there was a lot of things that went into that. And over the years, it's ebbed and flowed, and I think it's finally come to a point now where it's very healthy because of the fact that we worked on ourselves individually and didn't expect somebody else to fix us or our problems. Like, I would love for AJ to use words of affirmation or be romantic in certain ways, but at the end of, I do need that, just so that we're clear. But a lot of the things that I need, I know I have inside of myself, if that makes sense. Those would be bonuses for our relationship, but yes. So my advice would be to work on yourself. And I don't think it's ever a bad thing to apologize, right? Even if you don't think that you were at fault, to just apologize for the situation being what it was. I think it's always good to come forward and try and resolve things and be the bigger person. I mean, this was a total flop.
Oh, was it?
Yes. Stop copying me. My hands are together now. Yours are.
This was a total flop, you think?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Why do you bring me on your podcast and drag me through the mud?
I don't. I think this was a good one. I personally think that people would enjoy this podcast. So if there's anybody still listening, let us know.
Also, you know what I just thought?
What?
Your time in England.
Oh. Yeah. So anyways.
Can you close your legs, please?
Anyways. The food was great.
Delicious. Well, we didn't eat typical English food, I don't think.
Hydration was on point. Sleep was great.
Questionable for me.
But there was something about England.
And this did not happen to me. It only happened to AJ.
It only happened to me.
I mean, that was awful.
I'm talking some crazy stomach stuff going on. Where my stomach kind of just felt like it was...
It brought back memories of when AJ was sick a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Like literally running and exploding.
But thankfully...
Why does poop make me laugh so much?
Thankfully, though, never...
I'm like a teenage boy.
Great timing.
Oh, what do you mean?
Meaning, I never had an issue either day
No
at
dirty
class.
underwear.
I felt amazing in class.
Okay.
Not at dinners. It wasn't...
Just at night.
It wasn't
when I was
until
trying to
the
get Millie to
nighttimes or
sleep.
mornings when we were in the hotel, like in our
I'm talking
safe space.
World War II. Pearl Harbor.
But like, go to the bathroom, come back, go to the bathroom, come back.
Yeah.
Go to the bathroom again.
And I would hear
was
it in your
crazy.
stomach. I'd hear like, and you'd give me a look. And then you would bolt as if like a second longer would be
It was nuts.
turmoil.
It was nuts. And I still don't understand what happened.
You're okay today?
I'm fine now. I'm okay now. There was one day of lingering effect once I got back to the United States of America.
It didn't happen on the
The
plane?
English poops continued. No, it never happened on the plane.
The English poops. I wonder what it was. Did you have a lot more coffee than you normally would?
Yeah, could have been the coffee or the tea for sure.
We didn't drink. We
No.
didn't. You had a glass of wine.
We shared I had one glass of wine, and then we shared a glass of wine 3 nights before that. That was it. No other alcohol consumption. Yeah, just a lot of coffee. I think more coffee than normal, so maybe that could have done it.
Something about the English coffee just did you dirty.
Yeah. Anyways, for the 3 people that were still listening that caught that conversation, sorry about that.
Or if that's watching and saw AJ with his legs up on either side of the chair.
Okay, 1 hour in, podcast, Alley Cat versus AJ. She thinks it's a flop. Let us know in the comments, was it a flop?
Is it a flop? Also, should AJ provide words of affirmation in our marriage?
Let us know.
Let us know.